1 second. Hello, everyone. PNG broken? What? What's their leader looks like? Let me see. Oh, yeah, they're kind of hot. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know if I could take them. I don't know. They look pretty strong. Alright, hi everyone. For those of us not engaging in the important philosophical debate in chat, it's time to load up War Thunder a little bit, play some jets, then I might play some Helldivers after to play the new patchy. There's a new Helldivers patch out. Ooh. And they buffed the fuck out of everything, and I played one mission on it, and it's crazy. How would they get up to the F-15's height? The werewolves? I don't know. Maybe they got their own ones. War Thunder's already loaded in my OBS because I played like 2 missions of it at the end of last XCOM. I just had a breakfast of my wife's delicious bread. It was so yummy. I loved it. Banner says, the buff is mostly the counter that if you use unoptimized loadout, it takes 15 times longer to kill enemies. Yeah, I've seen that. It's good. I think that they've done a better job on it than I was expecting. It's good. Did new Warbond come out? Yeah, the Gas Warbond come out. Gas! And they changed Gas so it has its own identity now, which I think is good too. They made it so Gas is crowd control now, like confuses enemies and makes them fight the nearest thing, like go berserk and run in the walls and shit. Which is pretty cool. So that I like that, that's good. So we're probably gonna check that out. I love playing War Thunder, but these days when on stream, off stream, you know, I can play it for longer. On stream, there's so much different stuff I want to play though. I tend to just like, come on, play an hour or 2 of War Thunder, and then we switch to like something else. Lately it's been Overwatch, I've really been enjoying that. But today it might be Helldivers, I think. How does the Ghost Berserk make sense with bots? So, you know when the solar radiation hit that speedrunner's Nintendo and made the Mario speedrun possible? It's like that, but for their brains. There's like one single bit in their heads that makes it go from friendlies to enemies. It's the aggression inhibitors. Will we have Attack Breach Wizards this week? I have no idea. If I feel like it. It's a fun game. So if I feel like it. I'm gonna see you play through it before I get too spoiler comfy. Yeah, well, hopefully. Might do. If I feel like it, I'll play it. That's how Wario was Mace's Pocket Boy. Maybe it was. Gas just finds enemies when he's like wildly in every direction. I love that. That's good. It's good. I think Gas needed its own identity, so that's good. Before it was kind of like, oh, it's like green fire. I like that it has a thing now. Umbra says, I wish I could join you in Helldivers. You can. Just, if you're still around when I play, you can try to hop in. If it's your birthday wish, I'll even make sure you get in. Wolf says, not a massive fan of the sterilizer. Yeah, I've heard other people say the same about it. But yeah, I played one mission of Helldivers, like when the patch came out, and I took Orbital Napalm Barrage and 500 Kilo, which every other person in my squad did too. And I took Railgun and Shield Pack, and we went on a D10. Our fourth player disconnected like 1/3 into the mission, and then the other 3 of us just like easily steamrolled the D10 bugs after that. Oh, the gas star is good. What's the sterilizer then? I hear that bots are harder now, but bugs are easier. Because bugs' main difficulty of having to not have the weapon to deal with chargers or titans is no longer really as much of a thing. But apparently bots, like, kill you faster now. The pro player's a problem? No, just we didn't even need them. Yeah, bugs are a cakewalk. It's like, remember back when we were killing titans and chargers all day with the railgun? It's like that, it's like railgun meta again, it was so easy. Also because Orbital Napalm is so fucking good, it's ridiculous, it's just so cracked. It's ridiculously good. Negative evade. should have got more missiles off there.
Over G. Over G. Over G. Over G.
I hope I don't hear the sound of a missile impacting with me in a second.
Pull up. Altitude.
We're okay.
Altitude. Pull up. Pull up. Over G. Over G. Pull up. Pull up. Over G. Over G. Pull up. Over G. Over G. Roll left. Roll left.
Big square on the right side of the screen. What information is that providing you? So that is my radar. So the circle on the left, that's my radar warning receiver. RWR, that's different. That tells me what's coming towards me or looking at me. The square on the right is my radar. That's how I find the enemy and fire things at them. Right now, the radar on the right is configured in a very narrow search, and you can see that represented in front of me. That's actually, you'll notice, is mirrored, because it's the same thing. It's just an on-screen representation in the video game of the panel on the right there. So you can see as I change the width of the radar's scan, and, you know, thus the speed of it. On the right, it's also updated on that ping pong in the front. I keep it on a very quick, narrow band, so that it's very responsive. I'm in a lot of trouble, by the way.
Altitude. Pull up. Pull up. Over G.
I'm in a lot of trouble.
Pull up. Pull up.
They're like just chasing the fuck out of me. And that's bad for me. It's really bad for me. I need to go low. I don't know if I can go low enough to survive this. The hills are going to make it difficult. I might just die, but, you know. It is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, isn't it?
Pull up. Roll left. Pull up. Pull up.
Okay.
Over G. Over G. Pull up.
They're
Over
close
G.
behind me.
Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, too low. We don't go too low because then we go to jail.
Pull up.
I need to get some terrain that I can hide behind to, like, get this F-16 behind me off my tail. This might do.
Over G. Pull up. Roll left.
That did not
Over
do.
G. Pull up.
I'm in trouble.
Over
Fuck.
G. Pull up. Over G. Pull up. Pull up. Roll right.
It's
Roll
gonna
right.
impact.
Pull
Just
up.
is it gonna be me or the
Pull up.
ground? Okay, we're good.
Over G. Roll left. Over G. Over G.
The problem is I don't see them.
Pull up. Over G.
I can't see them. I can't evade them. I'm probably gonna eat a heat seeker from an ambush position I can't see right now.
Roll right. Over G.
Unless they peeled off, but it seems unlikely they peel off right in their moment of triumph. I don't know where they are though. I don't see them. Maybe they fucked off. Maybe they got bored. I'm the last one left, so that's not good. Yeah, I've been dodging for 10 minutes. Yeah, I usually you just merge off and continue to fight, but like I had one or two of them just chase me that entire time. And that's because I got too close. This is a risk that happens when you close in too much during the merge. You run the risk of turning around and having an enemy right in the danger zone behind you. And then you either have to... Oh god. You know, what are you going to do? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You either... You run forever, or you probably die unless you can turn around on them real good.
Over G.
Okay, this is bad. Obviously, they're blind hunting me, so I'm not gonna last very long here.
Lock. Lock.
Oh, that one's going away? No, no. What the fuck? No problem.
Over G. Over G.
We're chaffing, we're chaffing.
Altitude. Pull up. Pull up.
If it's gonna be good
Over G.
enough.
Over G. Pull up. Pull up. Over G. Over G. Over G. Pull up.
Don't know how close
Pull
it
up.
16 is. What? Okay, that's ages away.
Pull up. Over G. Pull up. Over G. Pull up. Pull up.
Oh, it's fucking closing. Never mind.
Over G. Over G. Pull up. Over G. Over G. Pull up.
Whoa, trees.
Over G. Over G. Roll right. Pull up. Over G. G. Pull up.
There it
Pull
goes.
up.
It blowed up. It bloated up.
Pull up. Pull up. Over G. Roll right. Roll right. Over G. Lock. Warning. Item system failure.
Whoa. Ejection may be wise,
Over G.
but where is this last enemy? I'm gonna get out of that one. I'm gonna escape. Yeah, the timer. I did run out the blind hunt timer. I did get that money and run out the timer, yes. Parker says, I understand it's on your RWR and alert sounds, but it's often difficult as a naive viewer to tell when you're in danger. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult as a first-time or many-time player of this game. It's definitely something you learn by doing. So, basically, missiles... Dying to a missile in this is quite consensual until it isn't. Missile and missile gameplay beyond visual range, BVR. All these missiles I fire, these AMRAAMs, these Fox 3s as they're called, that go and find the target on their own at long ranges. They have enough fuel and speed before it runs out to get you if you're flying at them, but generally they do not have enough for you to get hit by them if you fly away from them, because while they start out faster than you, let's say you're going 1,500 kilometers an hour, but they go 2,500 or more kilometers an hour, but that's at their fastest point of the missile. The missile quickly runs out of fuel, burns for like, what, 5 or 10 seconds at most, I think, on most missiles. It goes, and then it's done. It's done with its fuel, and now it's just going on inertia. Which is a lot when you're at 2,500 kilometers an hour, but it's still going to run out, and that's why what you do is these evasive maneuvers, because you're treading down the limited amount of energy the missile has left because it can't get any more back. It has no more thruster, it can't get any more back. It's done now. You're just wearing down that speed on it until it can't turn anymore, it can't chase you anymore. So, that's why at longer ranges, a missile can hit an enemy at like 60 kilometers if they fly straight towards me. Yeah, I know about that, Delta, I don't care about it. If they fly straight towards you and don't evade, because the missile will just inertia coast. But of course, turning loses you speed, same for missiles. So if you do evasion, then the range of the missile that will effectively, you won't be able to dodge from is much, much smaller. So, if ever I'm being shot at by something in the initial merges and the radar warning is blah, 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 it's usually fine, because those times I will only die if I fuck up. I'm threatened, and it will force me to turn around or evade, but I won't die to it unless I fuck up. You do fuck up, but you know, that's just how it is. Same with missiles we fire at the enemy. The enemy has to kind of walk into it a bit. That's easier said than done, like, especially less experienced pilots, you are going to fuck up and have a problem with it, or you're going to try to get cocky and dodge the missile in a way that saves you time, but ends up getting you killed. You fly to space? I don't know, I've never experienced this before. This is like Freelancer. Now, where you're really in danger is when you're in close range. So if you have an enemy within 10 kilometers, and they fire a radar-guided missile on you, and you're not already turned away from them, that's quite frightening, that's very threatening. You need to pull an effective evasion on that. If an enemy is within 5 kilometers and fires a missile on you, that's a very present threat on your life. So it's all about proximity. If you want to know when I'm really in danger, it's proximity. A close enemy, the closer the enemy is, the more in danger you are. Any enemy, like this is still the sniping at each other ranges, but any enemy within 15 kilometers is about to become a problem. Like 20k is the start of like, okay, this is becoming a fight. 15 kilometers, starting to become a problem. 10 kilometers, now you're in a real fight or flight moment. Like 765 kilometers and under, you're engaging in a dogfight, and that's the most dangerous place you can be in. But this is just seeing who wants to fly into my missile. And you'd think not a lot of people would want to do that, but you'd be surprised. You really would be surprised. You can see here, I have one fired on me, but I believe I have enough time. I actually don't. Holy shit. It's really close!
Air brake on.
To be aggressive here. So now I'm going to go, you know, reverse inverted. I'm going to go down towards the ground. I'm going to chaff, because I'm trying to energy trap the missile below me and wear it off with countermeasures. I might have been too greedy here. This is what I mean by if you fuck up. It is very possible to fuck up, and it's all about being cocky. Got one? So they fucked up. They did not evade that. I, meanwhile, you see the missile alert that was on me really close, just blinked out of existence. That's because I chaffed it successfully. I countermeasured and evaded it. So they didn't do what I just did. I did it. I get to live. that's how the initial merge, well, no, it's not even a merge, we didn't merge, but that's how the initial BVR poking goes, is you're doing poke fights. If you ever played a MOBA, it's all about poke. That's the poke part of the game, right? That's, you have skill shots you're firing at each other, you're dodging the enemy's skill shots, you're launching your own. You're trying to be as accurate as possible with yours, give them the best chance of... What the fuck? Oh, shit. Success, there's a MiG right behind me. Holy shit!
Over G. Air brake on.
That fucker's close!
Over G.
And I got an F-16. Oh, fuck.
Over G.
Danger, danger, danger.
Pull up. Air brake on. Air brake on. Pull up.
That missile won't
Pull up.
hit.
Over G.
What is that? That's not...
Pull up. Pull up.
That's an enemy missile.
Pull up. Over G. Over G.
That's what that is. This weather is beautiful.
Pull up. Pull up.
So, as you saw there, I suddenly was far more frightened because... Holy shit! 7K! That's a threat! That's a big threat. Okay, I gotta somebody on him. So I gotta turn around and help.
Over G.
You see how my teammates on him? I gotta help with that.
Our victory is near.
I wanna fire, but...
Lock.
Oh, fuck.
Over G. Over G. Altitude. Over G. Over G. Altitude. Altitude.
If I fire right now, I'll hit my teammate behind, so this is actually quite hairy.
Over G. Over
There's
G.
2 on him, so I'm gonna let those 2 go after him. Hopefully they don't fuck up. Oh, shit! Leave it to them.
Lock. Over G. Over G. Lock. Over G. Over G.
Oh, shit. They evaded. Oh, I'm fucked. Shit.
Fire.
What I should not have done there is fly to their entire team on the right side, but, I saw a blue over there and was like, I'll go help with that, but actually that was the whole red team, which I didn't think of. Because I was too busy thinking of everything. People, they just fratricidated your allies? Yeah, that's why I didn't fire. That first F-16 that was on me that I wanted to shoot, I didn't because I knew that I would inevitably hit the friendly behind. Which is unfortunately what the other blue didn't think of before firing. Unfortunately. That was really cool weather, I liked that. Yeah, you can't fire missiles like that because missiles are little killers. They don't care what they kill once you let go of them. You just can't do that. You know the meme, the very popular meme of like the guy walking with his girlfriend and his head's turning and he's looking at the other girlfriend? I mean, not the other girlfriend. The other girl. That's basically how missiles work in this. Is you'll fire them at a target and if a friendly or any other target crosses in front of them, they'll just be like, oh, new target, that's my target, and they'll go after that one. That happens a lot with the radar-guided ones, too. Parkerboy says, so the radar alerts are for anti-radiation, but there are also heat-seeking missiles, you just don't get warning for them? That's right. And that's probably one of the first things that surprised me getting into DCS and then War Thunder, is learning that getting a blaring alarm for every missile launched at you is a video game and movieism. It's an arcadeism. There are modern sensors for heat-seeking missiles, but they're not on every plane. Not these 4th generation fighters, for instance. I don't know if like the ultra modern like F-35 and stuff has that on board, I assume, because they have everything. But no, so in this game, for instance, if you want that, like the A-10 has it, and that's because the A-10 is a ground combat close air support plane, which is going to expect to take a lot of like unexpected stinger ambushes, right? But no, otherwise, if you don't have that shit, you've just got to like look around for it. You've got to be aware. They're also very prone to false alerts, yeah. Apparently the A-10's one goes off every time you launch your own missile. But yeah, those are special sensors that actually detect the missile themselves and their exhaust and stuff. Whereas usually what you're hearing the ping from, as you figured out, yes, is the radar. You're getting a warning right now, for instance, on the left there, that we are being pinged by an enemy radar. We'll get a warning if someone hardlocks us, so that's not necessary anymore with TWS and the top tier jets. But older radar systems or people using a different radar mode that actually hardlocks us rather than a soft lock, you'll get a line and a be-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. And then once you have a missile on you, so a seeker, a radar seeker head is within 20 kilometers of you, or a semi-active radar missile has been launched on you from an older missile, you will get the blaring alarm that you keep hearing of. And you'll see as it gets closer on the left there, you'll see the proximity. So yeah, we're only detecting the radar locking on us with the RWR, nothing else. It's really fun once you start to, like, learn it a bit. I was very wrong. Luckily, I was very wrong back in the day when I was like, this game is in, like, the wrong Venn diagram of realism versus fun for me. Actually, it's in the perfect one, it turns out, once I get used to not being shit at it. It's exactly what I like, it turns out. Hey, where's the fucker I want to shoot? You. Wrong. This is greedy. I need to get out of here. Cut the corner.
Over G. Air brake on. Over G.
This is my move if I don't want to keep position in the altitude. I'm a bit greedy here, so I'm going to do some more. Should stop chaffing.
Over G. Over G.
Works pretty nice though.
Altitude.
Because you go straight down, you lead the missile into the ground. And then you're safe. Why do you only launch one missile during the initial poke? Because people have gotten much better at evading them. And not being stupid and running straight into them. See what I'm doing? See how I don't die during the initial pokes? Everyone is capable of that. Every single person on the enemy team is capable of doing what I'm doing. When you get a kill in the initial poke, it's someone fucked up doing this. So I don't fire all my missiles because I want to have them later on when I can get higher percentage chances of kills. If you imagine it in board game terms, missiles fired here might have like a 90% hit rate if the enemy couldn't dodge, but imagine that the enemy gets like a, you know, an 80% chance to dodge. They get to roll. That's like my success rate. Back when this meta first came out, nobody knew how to dodge, and I would fire like all of them at the start, and you get like 3 or 4 kills. But it's different now. Of course, the more missiles you fire, the more chances you get to hit. But it's a bit of a mind game. You're looking for people on the radar who are behaving in a way that makes it look like they're easy targets. And that's generally people who are flying straight at you very recklessly. You're looking for them. Which is what I look like to the enemy, which is why I always get missiles fired at me too. Which is good. You want to bait missiles out. It's good. Missiles we want to fire, well, we don't want to fire on these guys. I need to look below me.
Over G.
Because there's 3 blues behind, so that's going to be a friendly fire problem. Also, it's a waste of my missiles because they should get them anyway. Warlock says, the mind game is if someone doesn't get a missile, they can push your shit in and use your dodge. That's right. Exactly, as Tamwin says, how valuable is it to force enemies into these dodges, taking away their velocity and speed? Very good. It's very impactful, and it's a reason I should fire more missiles. You're right. I should engage in that one. That's what I did when the meta first came out, and I generally try to take a shot on any good target I can see, but in this instance, I saw one good target I could shoot before I really felt like I had to dodge. But I would say, yeah, that like ideally I'd like to fire 2 in the initial poke and then save 4. And if I see 3 good targets, I'll fire 3 and save 3. But as you say, it is good as a team game to force the enemy into a more defensive posture. And that's part of why, as a defender, you don't want to always just go cold. You don't want to just run away from the missile. You want to try and do a sideways dodge, a notch, so that you can keep position. And then re-engage quickly. How likely is it for a dodge missile to pick up a different enemy after it misses? Incredibly unlikely unless they're already in that position. Basically, if you imagine, like maybe if I fire at this person, there's someone right behind them, like maybe. But it's very unlikely. It doesn't really happen. Because maybe their radar will pick up another target, but the missile won't have the energy to correct course to that person unless they're directly behind. You get what I'm saying? It'd very much be like if you fire... It's like saying, how likely is it if you shoot a pistol at someone if the bullet hits someone behind them? Like, that's how I describe it. You can have one. I don't know if that'll dodge. I don't know if that'll hit. So the other thing is that... there's only 2 of them left, and there's one over here. The other thing is that you can evade radar-guided missiles by flying very low. When you see the altimeter on my top left go red, I'll show you what it looks like right now. I'm at the height off the ground where it's unlikely that a radar-guided missile will damage me. You have to maintain that altitude consistently while the missile's coming in.
Over G. Lock. Altitude. Over
one's down, they're down. Alright. Nice job, got them all.
Mercy.
So that's another way you can avoid them. That is easier said than done now, though, because trees make that really hard to do. If you're flying over a forest, it's going to be very hard to do that.
Over G.
Nice job, I didn't do nothing. All them. Too busy defending. I'm going to fire earlier, so I can defend less, and I can get back in on the second wave. I should, like, save the poke. I should fire, like, 1 or 2 in the initial. Do a less running away defense, recommit, fire a couple more, and then get into the dogfight. Someone says, so why were you concerned about friendly fire in the previous fight then, if there isn't a high chance of picking up a different target? So, it's not so much the missile missing, it's the missile acquiring someone else. If the missile is evaded and misses, it's different to, like, if you fire and the missile immediately picks a different target. Also, like I said, that was the situation where it's what I'm talking about, where they're basically right behind. Basically, if you wouldn't shoot an assault rifle, you know, at a bunch of enemies in a video game because you'd be worried about hitting your teammates, you shouldn't fire a missile in this game. Even more in this game, because what would happen? Let's say there's an enemy there and a blue right behind. I fire the missile. Let's say, now the missile is leading the target, right? So it's going to aim where the target is going, not where it is. So let's say this person turns over here, and then the blue follows, and they turn back, and the blue follows. It's quite likely, as the missile's correcting back over, it just sees the blue first, and is like, oh, nice, target. All that needs to happen, imagine the lock is magnetic. All that needs to happen is for my missile's eye to just scan, to pass over where a friendly is, and it'll be like, oh, target. It's just gonna lock to the first thing it sees in its eye. Yeah, in that case, blues were already behind the target, that's right. There was like three blues chasing the red, and so it's very likely if I fire there, I kill them. Now, I've seen it really bad, like, I'll be up high, it's bad when you're up high, you'll be up high, and there'll be like red and blues dogfighting, or like, no, there'll be like a blue over here and a red over here, and I just see the red and I shoot, the red crosses this way, the blue crosses that way, and as they crisscross and make the point of an X in the middle, the missile switches targets. Like trains crossing a track. That doesn't make sense. Like cars passing each other in an intersection. So you gotta be really careful of it. And it's the thing you learn by doing a lot, by friendly firing a lot. Just gotta be really careful, you kinda get a feel for it. So let's do what I was saying, let's fire earlier this time. So that we actually get some hits in. I don't want to fire at people low over the water though. I need to defend.
Lock.
Because it's just like, it's harder
Over G.
to hit, or it's easy for someone to dodge, or harder to dodge when you're over a forest because you can't be low. It's very easy
Altitude.
to ground dodge radar missiles over the water because you can be incredibly low. It's just a consistently flat surface.
Pull up. Over G. Over G.
And these ones are still on me, unfortunately.
Over G. Over G.
So I'm doing the thing I didn't want to do, but the city's kind of close, it's hard to not. Of like, getting in really close and then going cold. Alright, we're just gonna turn around.
Over G.
Hey, Jaxpy, how you doing?
Pull
Are
up.
you doing well? I am, thank you very much. I'm doing alright right now, thank you. How are you doing?
Pull up. Over G. Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, this stuff is really interesting to learn. I really enjoy it as a part of the game. I like it a lot. Gotta be careful here that that missile does not just accurately detect my last known position and just fly straight into my face, which it's going to do in a second. So I'm gonna stay low. Because the missile isn't dumb, it knows where I'm going, and will just fly to that spot. However, I think it's gone now.
Pull up.
Okay. I saw a target up here. That's fine, wait. Okay. I'm gonna turn off our radar.
Pull up.
Turn it to a manual mode because we don't want these guys to see us coming.
Pull up.
Like we said, radar missiles will not do the job over the water very well. So we're gonna try to sneak in instead. And get some heat seekers off. That one's on fire. The way to make this work is to not let them know I'm coming.
Lock. Over G.
If I get in without them seeing this coming, I'm gonna get an easy kill. But there's an F-15 on my side, which isn't good. Oh fuck. Stay low. Oh, that's really low. That's really low. This is bad.
Over G. Lock.
Ah! Fuck, there it is. I thought it had already fucked off. Unfortunate. It was fired so close, and it was so close, I thought, oh, it's done its job by now. No, I had to stay away for a little bit longer there. As I popped up for the kill, it was the worst possible timing to leave the ground. Person says, is going to STT on a target engaged with a friendly worth it to just make their RWR start blowing annoyingly even if you don't launch a missile? Sure. Sure, in DCS and in real life as well, you're going to panic people much more. In War Thunder, people, I think, are typically going to be more blasé about that noise because we hear it every round, day in, day out. But sure, like, it's a tactic. It's a mind-gaming tactic that does have an effect. It is a different Blair, though, so it's not like you can fake that you fired a missile at them. X-Fi says, glad to hear it. Been a long year, lots of travel, and I changed jobs in January as I was affected by the second round of Twitch layoffs. Things have worked out pretty well. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry to hear that. Fuck. Sorry about that. Things have worked out pretty well, though. Been getting into 3D printing and playing lots of 40k video games on WoW. Oh, like World of Warcraft? Not World of WoW ships? I'm glad things have worked out well for you. You played Space Marine too, then? Yeah, Warcraft. I was playing on a private server recently, WoW Ascension, which I quite like. You ever play that? Gives me those vanilla, well not vanilla, but like those classic WoW vibes again. I like it. So this time I want to try to commit to my plan, be less defensive and be more involved in the fight. Maintain position. I want to maintain altitude. So if you're doing Dark Tide and Helldivers, Ripple left 40k adjacent, yeah, I'm about to play some of that later today. Hey, Delta. Yeah, Dark Tide's fantastic, of course. I will play it again sometime. It's been a while for me. I take big breaks from it because it gets a little old to me after I played so much of it. I haven't played Space Marine 2 yet, it's too expensive. Dark Tide patch next Thursday? Yeah, the train, right? I'll check it out sometime. It's a great game for getting my aim in for Overwatch, is like what I keep saying. Oh shit. So we're doing crafting, yeah. I do like that they gave the plasma gun new blessings that seem useful, compared to the old ones which are always kind of depressing. That's cool. As a plasma gun enjoyer, I think it might even be like really goated now. Ah, hey Dyson. Ah. What is this? Alert meaning you fighting God? Basically. This is like the final boss track for AC4, right, I think? This is the super weapon track. This is like the zero of Ace Combat 4. Okay, so remember, we don't want to engage at 30k this time, we want to engage from further away. We'll have a lower chance to hit, but we'll get to actually defend, is our goal here. So we're going to give you one. It's not really a great missile, but whatever. That's a really bad one because they're turning away. So you want to find people who are flying straight at you. They're the best chances to be hit by the missiles, so we'll do 3. We won't do any more because that'll be greedy, but we'll do 3. Now we're going to defend. Because missiles have a very hard time hitting you from the... or have a harder time detecting you from the side. And if we combine that with chaff during a turn like this, we can make missiles fuck off. If we do it right. However, the worrying thing is you don't really know if you've done it right until you don't explode. What does that sound? Oh, that's fucking close. Why is that so close? I'm sure I've evaded it. I've evaded that missile, it's fine. So safe in the knowledge that I've evaded that missile and I'll turn back in, and that's the example of what I was talking about, of doing a less cowardly defense. So before we were kind of going cold in the previous rounds, which is what it means. What the hell is that? Oh shit! Okay, I'm sure we're fine. Which means you just run away from the missile. This is the example of defending where you don't just run away from the missile. You can see how it maintains our altitude and position on the enemy. However, we're getting closer now, so we'll still have to run away next time we get engaged. Now this is exactly the situation where you get in that trouble I was talking about with friendlies, but I think that one will be okay.
Over G.
Engage, engage, engage. Are they dead? They're dead. Oh!
Warning! Warning!
And I didn't see that JF-70 coming at all.
AOA. Critical speed. AOA. AOA. Lock. Altitude. Warning!
So the first defense is better there because it lets us get back into the fight. The second is worse though because I get a little bit busy. Just kind of meandering around looking for more targets when I should be aware of how many reds are about to be looking at me. And we don't get a warning there because it's a heat seeker, not a radar. They just snuck up real close. And again, another reason why the closer the enemy is, the more dangerous they are. Because at long range, you can really only hit with radar-guided missiles. There is one Russian missile that's IR. It's an annoying gimmick. But, you know, you're going to get a warning, whereas close range, you're not going to get a warning that blares at you from an IR missile launched. So if they're within IR missile range, which is about 3 kilometers, you know, 5 or more if you fly into it, but usually about 3 kilometers, you're going to have a really bad time, because you're not going to see it coming. Does your radar scan aperture affect the performance of anti-radiation missiles? I have no fucking idea. I'm not aware of anti-radiation missiles being used against, like, airplanes. I don't know anything about that. I only know about that against, like, suppressing enemy air defenses. Enemy missiles, right. You mean radar missiles, yeah. Not that I'm aware of. So it's not that the enemy is locking onto my radar, it's that they're locking onto my plane with their radar. Anti-radiation, as I understand it, not a financial pilot, not financial pilot advice, that's when you are locking onto the radar signatures themselves. And that's something that's used, you know, in the ways I know of it, used typically for aircraft who are suppressing enemy air defenses. They will fire these missiles that track enemy radar, like beam, you know, enemy radars, and they'll blow up their installations. Timeether says, it's actually insanely simple how a pulse Doppler works and why not she works when you think about it. Yeah, when you learn about it, it's really cool. Yeah, harm munitions, that's right. Which are scary in their own way. But not what we're fighting here. That's ground attack stuff, generally. You said the word blue shift, Dimetheus, you've lost me. Unless you're talking about Half-Life, I don't know what you're talking about. We did get one kill in the last round, the straight down shoot down, but if we'd probably gone defensive right there, we would have been fine. That's the thing there is, and definitely as I'm talking more, I'll forget to do it less, but you've got to be mindful and stay defensive, and remember that there are other things in the sky, there are other sharks in the sea, and not get complacent, just rely on the radar to tell you when you're under attack all the time when you get close like that. That's generally knowing how the flocks are going to go in the map. So again, we'll have a few early cracks. So see how they're turning away? We don't like that. We don't want to shoot at someone who's turning away. You want them to be pointed straight at us for a good shot. If they're not pointed straight at us, it's not a good shot at this range. And you get the situation where... Oh, you're really high though. I like you. Oh, just turn back towards me. Fuck. No, because someone else is going to have targeted them. Because someone else is going to be like, that's a great target. So they're going cold. They're defending. I'm not going to shoot at them for that reason. Now we're getting in quite close, though. So this isn't going to be like a good measured defense or anything, you know? I gotta look for other targets. This is very... Like, boringly clear of enemies. In a way that's very suspicious. I don't like it. I'm just kind of like flying headlong into the enemy. There, I'll give you one because I think you're going to turn into it. Yep. Like, yeah, I'm directly above the enemy. Holy shit. Like, this is bad. You don't really want to do this because you don't know what could be killing you. You know? You have no idea what could be about to just IR missile you. There could be a billion of them under me right now. I would have no idea. I am in an unaware position. Ah! Flying over an anthill armed with Glocks. It's not good. That F-16
Pull up.
is trying to beat the shit out of me. Fuck!
Over G. Air brake on.
I can't shake this one!
Pull up.
Oh, shit!
AMA.
But another one!
Over G.
Gotta get the fuck out of here. I am out of flares. What was that, 3 missiles we just evaded from the F-16?
Pull up.
That's usually where you die. That was not a good position to be in, and that's exactly what I meant by anthill full of ants with guns. Is one of the ants poked their head out of the anthill, looks up, goes, "Ow, food!"
Over G.
Tries to bring me to the queen, but we get away with that. 4? Yeah, that was scary. Yeah, I have no flares now, but I'm alive, so, like, you know, it's worth it. That's what they're for. But we'll try to re-engage now. Very scary. Very, very scary.
Over G.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know how that actually worked, Dimethus. That's cool. I also really thought about it before peeling off. Yeah, it was scary. That's the one where I'm like, oh, I'm fucked, just give up. But actually, we kept going, and I think we dodged out at like 200 meters, which is basically touching you. That's like a sexual distance. It's very intimate in air combat ranges. Very frightening. Very. Oh, shit! Oh! Fuck!
G. Pull up.
There's another one just coming out of nowhere. It's not actually at me, though, I don't think.
Pull
So it's
up.
okay.
Over G.
That's at someone else nearby, but because I was close, the radar goes, look the fuck out!
Over G.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I want to fucking engage that,
Pull
but
up.
the friendlies are in the way. Kill them all. Better to not shoot and get 0 kills than kill your teammate and not help.
Air brake on. Over G.
Every time. One last one right before you went behind the hill for you, yeah. Shit was scary. I didn't see that one. Yeah, that's like a very technical way of explaining the way it works, Herbeck, with notching, which is against those radars, because early radars had such a problem separating you from the ground, a target from the ground, they made it based on like your speed relative to the aircraft of the radar. So because the ground doesn't move. So you, to fool those radars, those new radars, you disguise yourself as the ground by looking like you're not moving to the radar, which means not flying away, but flying perpendicular. That's the right word, yeah, perpendicular, at a 90-degree angle to the radar. Because then, the incoming radar and the jet flying it is closing on you at the exact same rate as they're closing on the ground. You're neither moving towards them or away from them. And that's not about, like, how much you're getting away from them. Like, they should be closing on you, but you're not traveling towards them or away from them. Therefore, you're the ground, because the ground isn't traveling towards or away from the radar either. It's sitting still. Wolf says, you spend a lot of time running from missiles? Yeah, good thing I enjoy it so much. Could that person not shoot me? Yeah, I wanted to get away from that. I don't know why people do this sometimes. Go the only one. Why? Warlock says, almost all radar tracking is about filtering a target. Computers can't see anything, but you can use physics to ignore things. Yeah. Parkboy says, you can also do this by simply flying into the ground. Cassandra Celestia says, wait, the AI gets MiG-15s that BR? Yeah, they don't even try to attack you either. They're just food. They're just balloons for F-22s to shoot. Some people think that they're gonna put more dangerous SAM sites in this mode. I think that'd be cool to see that NPCs be a little more impactful, but yeah, right now they're like Ace Combat tier, like below Ace Combat tier. They basically don't fight you. I want to play Ace Combat, but it's so hard to go back to a Jet Combat game that doesn't have this kind of control scheme. I think I'll just have to plug in the Xbox controller right next to me and just play over controller finally. I always used to stubbornly play every Air Combat game with mouse and keyboard, but I think War Thunder in a roundabout way, being so good to play with mouse and keyboard will actually get me to play games like Ace Combat with controllers from now on. Does that make sense? Just because, like, now I know what good mouse and keyboard flight feels like, and I don't want to use bad mouse and keyboard flight anymore. The AI and the guy do anything? They can try, but generally no. I did fly over a radar lockable AAA gun yesterday, and it like locked me up and gave me a radar warning on the left, and then shot a bunch of Vulcan rounds at me. And if I hadn't evaded at all, some of them might have hit me. Wasn't likely, but it was possible. Here we go. Let's get some shit going. Alright, you can have one. And we don't want a defense.
Over G.
We want to wait until our missiles finished fucking with the guy. Okay, there we go. We can fuck off.
Over G.
Looks good.
Over G.
Ken says used to be insanely OP. Like, what was her guns hitting you at like 4K outlet 2.7 plane? Wow! That sounds crazy.
Lock.
Give that person
Lock.
one. I should not need to help with that. I shouldn't need the dog pile. Interesting. Is that real? That is surely not real.
Over G.
That's not real.
Over G.
Enemy missiles are coming in here. We don't want to fire a radar missile. They already evaded one from... Oh, no, they didn't. It's coming in. There's a MiG coming in, too. Fire. Fire the heat seeker. What the fuck? Oh, look at that thing turn. Holy shit. God damn, that thing turned. I'm fucking cooked, though.
Pull up. Over G. Pull up.
Did you see that 9M just be like, murder?
Pull up.
That was some crazy shit.
Over
We'll
G.
evade through the
Pull
dunes
up.
here.
Pull up. Over G. Pull up. Over G.
We'll also
Pull
lose some
up.
speed to get ready to
Pull up.
merge that MiG
Over
if it's
G.
still on me.
Pull up. Pull up. Over G. Pull up. Air brake on. Pull up. Pull up. Over G. Over G. Roll
Look at that.
left. Over G.
I don't know if my teammates got him.
Over G. Pull up.
Look at the M98s, what the fuck? Yeah, the 9M was just like, oh yum, a Frenchman! Just straight up! Off the rail! It's pretty fun watching shit like that happen. Part of this game's fun is like the most basic Ace Combat level of like Jet's fun. Part of the fun is learning all the systems and learning the limits of them. Hello, motherfucker.
Pull up.
And being like, oh, you know, these are the limits you can't surpass. And then part of the game's fun is seeing shit like that, where it's just like, sometimes situations just like, actually, fuck the limits. This 9M's gonna just look insane right now. It's not something you can appreciate till you know it shouldn't be doing that. Then it's like a fun little treat for you, you know?
Pull up.
Let's go
Pull
to
up.
radar off, so this F-15 has less of a chance to see us coming. We might be able to sneak on it.
Pull up.
It's dead, okay. There's one enemy left, now I'm gonna put go radar back on. Don't want to find them. Okay, we're over here. Is this them, or is that an AI? We don't know.
Pull up.
This might be them. It looks...
Pull
nope.
up.
Yes.
Lock.
That's them, maybe? I don't know.
Pull up.
That's them. Ooh, okay, we gotta run that into the ground.
Over G. Pull up. Pull up.
Not low enough. Whoa! No, 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 little fucker.
Air brake on. Over G. Over G. Lock. AOA. Altitude. AOA. AOA. Over G. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Oh!
Air brake on. Pull up. Mercy. Pull up. Roll left. Roll left.
We're okay. Flare like crazy because anyone else trying to missile that target would have hit me. Bit of roll scissors there, yeah. You can see how incredibly out of practice I am with dogfighting, sadly. I'm not like good at it or anything. But I like getting in those dogfights time to time because you get to practice it a bit. I'll never get good at dogfighting in this game again, though, unless I ever go back to the pre-missiles or goated tier. Or if I, like, find some kind of clan that actually plays this like an old gaming clan that does, like, 1v1s against each other. I miss that. I wish that was in more games. I want to find, like, a clan for War Thunder that's like an old clan. Not like how they've become, like, social groups now, where it's like, join the group. There's 250 of us and we'll never speak to each other. But more like back in the day when there was like 18 people who played Counter-Strike together, or like, you know, 9 of them, and like you actually like got on TeamSpeak or Ventrilo or Mumble, and like were friends. I find it hard to like find groups like that for games I play anymore, because whenever I go looking for a clan on Google or wherever, all I get any more people using clan for is the new term for clan, basically, which is a social group, like a Facebook group, basically. I hate that shit. I want to join more clans that are like clubs, I guess. I don't know how you call it these days to get through that. Back when like you joined a clan and like this shit was serious, like you had like a recruitment officer and and like you got tryouts and shit, and you had to show up to the pugs, not the pugs. You had to show up to the scrums. Where's that for War Thunder? I want to join the War Thunder. To War Thunder clan of like 8 people, and hopefully they're not racist. Have you tried being 16 again? No. Where's that for Darktide? Where's that for Helldivers, damn it? They're all just social groups now, I hate that. Like, there's nothing wrong with social groups, but I've got them. I want places where you actually meet people. Last time I had that was a game called Mortal Online 2. Me and Jam played with a bunch of people in 2022, I think. And that was fucking great, because it was a bunch of Australians. And it was like an old style clan. I loved it. BCJ Discord was great for that. Yeah, I mean, you get that there too. You get that in that place I've never heard of. Andrew says, War Thunder definitely needs a team-based competitive element. There's so much grind that a single match matters and it sucks. Yeah, I can see that. I really enjoy just every match for its own right, but I totally get what you mean. Yeah, it would help. But what do you do there? Like, what more would you do to War Thunder to make it into that Counter-Strike and Valorant feeling that has just captivated giant player bases for decades? Which is actually playing Jets. Yeah, are they top tier yet? Literally have like 20 people playing Helldivers in Discord. Yeah. I want to meet more Australians. I also want to meet more people who don't know me. Yeah, well, Thunder's quite good at fucks that. That's true, yeah, because, like, you have to be at the same tier as well. So the chance of me finding, like, a bunch of Australians who play top-tier air is really low, you're right. It's not high at all. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go defensive.
Over G. Over G. Over G.
He's fine at Jazz, so I think that's up to your right. What, Grippin? Like a Jazz 39, see? He should be there, he was closing in last, so I saw him a couple of weeks ago. Grippin needs nuts, Lamel. Okay. That missile's getting closer and I don't really like that.
Over G. Over G.
I don't really like that at all. I can't see, and I don't like that either. How close to the ground am I? If only there was a way to tell that there was a mountain in front of me. Oh my god, there's a mountain in front of me. Fuck! Ow!
Over G. Attack enemy troops.
That's a shame that they were kind of chuddy, Camel left. That's very normal for Australians, though, sadly.
Over G. Over G. Altitude. Over G. Over G.
Provide air cover for our base. Commencing attack.
Over G.
I'm gonna cycle charge with this F-15. I'm gonna let them go in. I'm gonna turn around and come in behind them or whatever targets are threatening them.
Over G.
Kind of chuddy actually better than average? Yeah, it is.
Over G.
I mean, to a certain point, like, it was the same with the people we played with, but yeah. you kind of gotta not even pick your battles. You kind of gotta learn like the difference between like good hearts and hateful hearts, and like people who are like that, but it's just like just kind of how they are compared to like people who are like fucking fucked up on like the chud juice. Like we played with people who, you know, were oh shit, hang on, I gotta kind of pay attention for a second, hang on.
Lock. Over G. Over G. Over G. Over G.
Eat shit!
Over G.
Why do I hear a miss? Oh, because there's someone on my left.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
Back to back, Disintegrated Ogres told me that. Group of guys who are kind of chuddy and exclusively only will always attract worse. Exclusively only. There's like actual racist bigots, and then there's guys that kind of don't know better. Yeah, and playing with them a bit was in the middle of or the start of my coming around a bit on not being so Firebrand dunk happy. Because I've talked about this before, where Trump happens, I became very politically conscious all of a sudden, and then lived by the standard you walk by is the standard you accept. So basically any time I saw anything that was bad, I would call it out or try to correct it. That's it's a very noble principle when you're enacting it, but it doesn't really work in practicality very well. I find, unfortunately, and it really depends. Like, I think the standard you walk by is the standard you accept is a very important thing to keep in mind for minimizing actual harm. But when it came to like just talking to people, and like they're not necessarily doing harm to someone, but like they have like beliefs that are ignorant or like you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, like don't know better, you know, maybe as Warlock says. There's kind of a way, yeah, works in community moderation, not really in real life. Yeah, you're really just not gonna like know anyone then, because it kind of just like makes every social interaction of you exhausting. Makes it exhausting for you, makes it exhausting for anyone, you know, interacting with you, because it's very easy to just make people feel like fucking, like Parker was saying, like parented, moderated all the time. Whether or not, you know, it doesn't matter whether or not you're morally, or whatever the fuck, ethically right at a certain point. When you kind of take everything, when you have a filter that minute, and I'm trying to avoid using words like harp on or jump on everything, but when you go after everything like that, even with like a good faith intention, you're just gonna burn out yourself and the people trying to interact with you who don't already think like that. A lot of words to say, basically, that these days, and I've said this before as well, I try much more to identify, is this person a good person underneath? Is this someone who, you know, is doing things that could feel harmful or offensive to others, you know, because it's what they know, it's, you know, it's a little bit of chuddiness they've grown up with and used to, it's a reaction to this or that, they really don't get it, or is it these people, like, are just hateful people who are on the fucking juice of, like, oh my god, everyone who isn't me is the cause of all my problems and is coming to kill me, that kind of crazy shit. Yeah, it's exhausting, but the inverse as well. Exactly, Camelot. And what ended up happening with that group, for instance, is, you know, I wouldn't jump on every, you know, every word said in the Discord, you know, in the voice chats and stuff with them hanging out that was like, I don't think you should say that word all the time, which was, you know, me bringing down my filter a bit. But then, you know, there was a moment that happened where a issue came up in the group that was actually, it wasn't just talking, it affected a member, and it was related to those issues, and, you know, it was basically time to nut up and make a point about it. And in so doing, I feel like we got to a good place with that, and I was able to kind of help foster a better attitude towards issues for that member, and be more considerate and sensitive to them, rather than it being kind of like you know, snowflake kind of thing. And that was good. That felt good. But in so doing, even there, some of the members, like a couple of the members, got very fucking upset. Not even really about chuddiness that much in hindsight, though. It's just more like the standard kind of like, oh yeah, like man blokey stuff, especially in Australia. But it was actually more just like that the person who got really mad was the person who had been like saying the words that, you know, hey guys, maybe we should no longer say this because it's hurting one of our members. And they just didn't want to be called out on it, you know?
Over G. Lock.
Of course. I'm gonna die because
Lock.
I've...
Over G. Over G. Pull up.
Oh, I'm not gonna die because they fucked that up. Why I'm gonna die? I should have kept turning. That round was a bit more talking, wasn't it? My bad. In terms of Helldivers, yeah, I'm probably gonna play it in like another few rounds after this. Yeah, exactly, Wolf, exactly. Like, maybe you don't jump on it the first time when someone says something like that, but when it's like a consistent thing, you'd be like, hey, you know, here's why maybe you don't say that, or like, hey, maybe you couldn't. And I think that's the big difference, too, is you got to get away from the dunking mindset, or, I mean, you can do what you want, whoever you are on the other end of the headphones right now, but I try to get away from the dunking mindset because it's very addictive in a bad way. It's really fun to bully people. Like, it's really fun to dunk on people. And that doesn't change just because you espouse progressive beliefs or you're a leftist. You just find new targets for that, you know? But at the end of the day, there's something that feels good for a lot of us about finding an acceptable target, our ontological enemy, to righteously dunk. And you kind of gotta get yourself out of that mindset, I think, if you want to have positive impacts. Like I found very much, I try very much to get out of that, like, what does that say? That mindset of like, oh, someone's done something bad. Oh, you fucked up. Put the italics and the bold text on. Here's why you fucked up. You fucking did this and it's a fucking racism. I will not fucking stand for this fucking racism in my fucking blah 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 blah. And that feels really good when you're doing it. But you're just like shitting on people. And sometimes people deserve to be shit on. And that's great. But you're not getting through to those people when you do that. Like, that's just like, sometimes people deserve to be bullied because they're like horrible Nazis and racists and stuff. And that's a different thing. But like, when you're trying to like course correct someone who's doing something that's harmful, and you're like actually expecting them to give a shit and listen to you and maybe change their beliefs because you think they've got that potential, then don't be condescending, don't be a dickhead, don't be patronizing. Just treat it like an accident or a mistake. And be like, hey, you know, maybe you couldn't. Maybe you could not do this because I don't like it when you do that. And if you're talking to someone who gives a shit about other people and what makes them comfortable, you might have success. And that's great. And those are the kinds of people I look for and care about. And if you're talking to someone who's a dickhead or really hateful, they'll hear you saying, please don't do that, and be like, I'm going to do it more because it pisses you off. And those are the people you cut ties with. And a lot of us exist in between. There's a lot of people who initially, it's very hard to be criticized. Initially will be very unresponsive to criticism and get very defensive. But then if you give them a moment and don't push it too hard, if you let them think about it, they'll come around on their own if they have a good heart underneath. Real McDyson says, Duncan is egotism. It feels great but doesn't fucking do anything, yeah. And I think it has its place in the modern era still, because like with people like Asanabi, who I love watching when I have the time, I like it when he dunks on really shit bags, because it's great, because as someone just said, there's a difference between making an example of someone and making an example, or showing an example of someone to follow. Sometimes you need to make an example of someone. There's some real shitbags out there, which I love seeing people like Hasanabi bully and make an example out of. And it's great because that's the kind of thing that youth responds to as well. I think it's important. Like a while ago, I realized that when there's like a Nazi in the lobby or something, you know, you don't go after the outrage thing. You don't be like, wow, you're a Nazi. That's disgusting. They don't give a shit about that. They're like being little edgy little trolls. Just a while ago, like, it was a fucking ARAM. I remember the first time I started doing it. Is you go, oh, you're like, you got like a fucking Nazi-esque name. Like, that's fucking cringe. Like, the Nazis are literally losers. Like, they fucking lost really bad. We had a whole war about it. We decided they fucking suck. And bullying like that and making fun of people who fucking deserve it does have an effect. You look at the Overton windows today of online discourse. I see it even in the War Thunder chats. You see the general Overton windows. You see the general of what's normal shift. And I think of, like, years ago, it was way worse, and it was way more normal to be an edgy piece of 4chan shit. Sorry, no offense if you're on 4chan these days, you're not a piece of shit. Sorry, but it's a great, you know, identifier. But, you know, the classic sort of dawn of the modern internet, 4chan troll, that was very normal. And I feel like these days it's far more likely you see with people to not be like that, which is good. Like, I see far more people acting like that, and then people in the chat just calling it out like, that's cringe. Like, what are you doing? That's cringe. It's like the example everyone always talks about with the producers, right? Where, like, if you make a movie where the Nazis are the bad guys, but they're, like, super badass, even though they're meant to be the bad guys, Nazis can be like, oh yeah, but, like, you know, yeah, that's us. You know, we're cool, even if people think we're wrong or whatever. You know, we know. But then the producers, or whatever it was, is the movie about the musical, right? Where the Nazis are a joke. They're just a big fucking joke. And no Nazis are coming to claim that. Because you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, that's us, the fucking jokes. It's the same thing. It's good to fucking humiliate and bully really big pieces of shit. Not just for dunking on them, but because it convinces others, hey, don't be that person. That's not cool, it's lame, don't be that. Is it even possible to be on 4chan in 2024 without being a piece of shit? I don't know. I used to be on 4chan a lot, and I turned out okay in the end. I wasn't great then, but I wasn't like the person I was talking about as much. People get tired of all the edge. I think you only get it from super young people now. Is that an enemy plane? Or is that a missile? I'm still talking, and I should stop talking. So I'm not really paying attention because we got onto a good topic. I think it's good too, because the further we get away from South Park as a thing that the generation that's currently young grew up on, the less you see it online. South Park was fucking disastrous for that, because South Park was so much like... So much of South Park, as someone smarter than me put it, is basically making fun of you if you care about something. So... like, if you gave a shit, that's why you get the social justice warrior thing. If you give a shit about something, you know, that's fucking cringe. You're a fucking loser if you give a shit about something. But you care enough about something to be mad about it? Like, you're such a fucking loser. And we had like a whole fucking generation on that, basically, you know? Does this F-16 see me? My radar's off, they shouldn't know. They're flaring it, but I think it's too late for you, buddy!
Over G.
Got him. Don't get me wrong, like, I watch South Park, it's funny. Like, I used to enjoy South Park back in the day. I even fucking enjoyed Team America and shit. Like, I'm not saying, like, it was never funny or anything to me. But just, it was just something that someone smarter than me put it, and I realized, like, yeah, that actually does track a lot, is that ideology of basically, if you care about something, that's cringe. Because you as soon as you see that said, as soon as I saw that said, and I looked at kind of everything I hated in online discourse and shit, yeah, it fucking tracked. It's that very cynical, what's the word? Not misanthropic. Nietzsche? I don't know. Just very cynical, you know, treatment of people in the world. And goodness says, South Park only once walked back on that stance due to global warming. They had a whole episode dedicated to making fun of the idea of global warming. Oh yeah?
Over G.
I think I'd stop watching by then. We give them a missile there. They're gonna go defensive. They haven't fired on us yet. We come back in.
Lock.
I have how many? I have like 3 more. As soon as they start turning us again, we're gonna fire another one. Nambear Pig was an analogy. I don't really remember that episode. They're turning around, so they want to engage again. So that immediately, as soon as they try to turn on me, it's like, bad news, buddy, you can't. They're gonna try to launch on me, so we're gonna chaff. Because they're trying to make this work right now. But if they defend right, they can get into a dogfight with me. I've got 2 AMRAAMs left. Again, when they try to turn around on me, you've got to launch again. One left. Now these last missiles should be safe for kill shots. They're gonna try to... Ooh, it's right on them! It is right on them in the good way. Unfortunately, I'm now gonna deal with... Oh, that's not gonna hit. I gotta now deal with the air defenses. They're gonna try to get me one more time. This time they're gonna get a missile off of me. Oh, I fucking black out! But I evade. We're okay.
Keep it up and
Hell yeah, that was a sick evasion, actually. Thank you, me. No problem, me. High five me? Why not? Delta says, oh, I recognize this name. That guy doesn't have to run to the airfield. That's funny. Nice notch, thank you. It was sexy, right? It's nice when you just immediately chaff and the missile just, like, goes so dramatically off target. What is this, Ace Combat? Feels good. It's fun to get to the end of a round where you have so many missiles left and you just bully like that. Have, like, a 1v1. Nihilistic? Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for, Dionysus, yeah. Picturesque? Yeah, it's like the movies. We like it when it's like the movies. It's fun. Because you play these games that are a bit more realistic, a bit more realistically coded than Ace Combat. And then you get used to, like I said, the limits. And then when you pull off things that feel like Ace Combat, you're like, oh shit, that was like the movies, sweet. Bro, you're playing a video game, what do you mean? You wouldn't understand. Until you grind through the US tree, you just wouldn't understand. Until you've been fucked on in the F5 by the goddamn Swedish Draken, like, 20 times, you just don't understand what the limits are. That was a fun one. I think I'm ready for some Helldivers now. That was a good one. I love me some War Thunder! Where's your War Thunder research it again? I'm like a third of the way through the A10C, I think. F5 getting bullied like it should? No! F5 very cute! We love the Tiger. We love F5. Poor F5 getting its BR buffed. How could they do it? The poor sweet F5 who never did anything wrong to anyone in the 10.3 bracket. It's very mean. How could they do that? F5 deserves limit.